Tonight, we turn our attention to Southeast Asia, a region known for its vibrant cultures, rich history, and complex geopolitics. But beneath the surface, tensions are rising, threatening to destabilize the delicate balance that has held for years. A long-simmering dispute between Cambodia and Thailand has erupted into a full-blown crisis, drawing international concern and putting the spotlight on a volatile frontier. This isn't just a border disagreement, it's a multifaceted conflict involving soldiers on high alert, politicians trading accusations, and ordinary people whose daily routines have been thrown into chaos. Families are separated, businesses are shuttered, and uncertainty hangs in the air. The flashpoint is the Emerald Triangle, a remote jungle-covered area where the borders of Cambodia, Thailand, and Laos converge. This region, rich in natural resources and strategic significance, has long been a source of tension and mistrust. Recent incidents, ranging from border skirmishes to heated diplomatic exchanges, have pushed the two nations closer to confrontation than they've been in over a decade. The world is watching, anxious about what might happen next. Soldiers now face off along a border that's never been fully agreed upon, with both sides digging in. A single misstep, a misunderstood order, or an accidental shot could ignite a much larger conflict, threatening regional stability. Major border crossings, vital for trade, travel, and family connections, are now shut down. The economic impact is immediate, and diplomatic relations have soured, making dialogue more difficult than ever. To truly understand this crisis, we need to look beyond the headlines. The roots run deep, shaped by decades of historical grievances, surging nationalism, and fierce economic competition that continues to fuel the flames of discord. For both Cambodia and Thailand, this is about more than territory. It's a matter of national pride and identity. With emotions running high, compromise seems almost impossible, and leaders on both sides face intense pressure from their citizens. In the coming scenes, we'll break down the key events, examine what each side truly wants, and reveal the profound impact this standoff is having on the people who call the border region home. The current crisis is the result of escalating events that have unfolded over several tense months, each incident building on the last and pushing both sides closer to the brink. It all began earlier this year, as the region shifted from the dry season into the rains, a time when border tensions often simmer beneath the surface. In February 2025, Cambodian soldiers entered a disputed area near the centuries-old Preah Vihear Temple, a site long claimed by both nations. Their presence triggered a tense standoff with Thai forces, as both sides rushed reinforcements to the border. That incident ended without bloodshed, thanks to last-minute negotiations and a fragile truce. But it was a stark warning that the underlying issues, territorial claims, national pride, and historical grievances, remained unresolved. On May 28th, the situation exploded into violence. A deadly firefight broke out in the dense jungles of the Emerald Triangle, leaving a Cambodian soldier dead and sparking outrage and nationalist anger on both sides of the border. In retaliation, Thailand swiftly closed the Sai Taku checkpoint, a vital artery for cross-border trade and daily life for thousands of people. Cambodia responded in kind, shutting down its own border crossings and further escalating the standoff. The closures brought trade to a standstill, leaving long lines of stranded trucks, empty markets, and families separated on both sides of the border. Cambodia then halted all fuel imports from Thailand, deepening the economic pain and causing shortages in border towns. The rift widened further as Cambodia banned Thai television shows, a symbolic move that underscored the growing mistrust and cultural divide. In July, political turmoil erupted in Thailand when the prime minister was suspended over accusations of being too conciliatory toward Cambodia, fueling further uncertainty. Cambodia's leader responded by announcing mandatory military service, signaling preparations for a prolonged standoff, and rallying the nation for what could be a drawn-out conflict. With both sides digging in, and civilians caught in the middle, the path to peace now looks more challenging and more urgent than ever before. At the heart of a decades-long conflict lies the mysterious and lush Emerald Triangle, a region shrouded in mist and dense jungle, where the borders of three nations meet. Here, Cambodia, Thailand, and Laos converge in a remote corner of Southeast Asia, creating a geopolitical hotspot that has long been a source of tension and uncertainty. The exact borderlines have never been clearly demarcated on the ground, leaving the area open to interpretation and fueling a dispute that has simmered for generations. Cambodia bases its claim on a 1907 map drawn by French colonial authorities, arguing that this historical document proves its sovereignty over the contested land. Thailand, however, rejects the French map as biased and unfair, insisting that it does not accurately reflect the true boundary between the two countries. Both sides are steadfast, each believing their claims are not only historically valid but also legally justified, making compromise difficult. This isn't the first time border disputes have led to violence. Between 2008 and 2011, deadly clashes erupted over the ancient Preah Vihear temple, drawing international attention and concern. The International Court of Justice ultimately ruled in Cambodia's favor, a decision that still shapes the current debate and stirs strong emotions on both sides. Now, Cambodia is once again calling on the ICJ to intervene, hoping for another international ruling to settle the matter once and for all. Thailand, on the other hand, firmly opposes international arbitration, preferring to resolve the dispute through direct negotiations via a joint border committee established in 2000. This fundamental disagreement, whether to trust an international court or rely on bilateral talks, has kept both sides locked in a diplomatic stalemate for years. Old maps, colonial legacies, and fierce national pride all collide in this contested patch of jungle, making the Emerald Triangle a symbol of unresolved history. Until both sides can agree on a process for resolution, the dispute is unlikely to end, and the border will remain tense and heavily guarded. For now, the Emerald Triangle remains a flashpoint for regional tension, a place where history, politics, and geography are in constant collision. The dispute is about more than territory. Economics and national pride make it explosive. Cambodia relies heavily on Thai imports, especially fuel, creating a sense of vulnerability and resentment. In retaliation for border closures, Cambodia halted fuel imports and banned Thai products, signaling defiance but risking its own economy. Nationalism is surging on both sides: unity parades in Phnom Penh, protests in Bangkok, and accusations of weakness against leaders. Cambodia's move to introduce mandatory military service is a powerful symbol of this nationalist fervor. In Thailand, political turmoil is fueled by demands for a tough stance. With national pride at stake, compromise is seen as betrayal. This makes a peaceful resolution even harder to achieve. Beyond politics and military posturing, the crisis is devastating for people living along the border. For generations, communities have crossed the border daily for work, trade, and family. The sudden closure of checkpoints has severed these lifelines, plunging families into hardship. Small traders and farmers have lost their livelihoods overnight, and bustling markets have fallen silent. Fear is pervasive, memories of past clashes haunt residents, and the threat of escalation looms. Thai authorities have evacuated civilians from conflict zones, forcing families to leave homes and possessions behind. The crisis is tearing apart the social fabric. Neighbors who once shared customs and family ties now face suspicion and mistrust. Rising nationalism and angry rhetoric from leaders filter down, dividing communities. The border, once a line people crossed freely, is now a hard barrier separating families and friends. Ordinary people bear the heaviest burden of this conflict. Finding peace is proving nearly impossible, as both sides are locked in a diplomatic deadlock. Cambodia wants the International Court of Justice to rule on the border, citing past favorable decisions. Thailand rejects international arbitration, insisting on direct talks through the Joint Border Committee. This fundamental disagreement blocks negotiations before they even begin. Internal politics make compromise even harder. Thailand's government is paralyzed by nationalist pressure, while Cambodia's leaders use the crisis to rally support. Any leader seen as soft risks political backlash. Both governments are playing to domestic audiences, digging in their heels. With neither side willing to back down, the prospects for a diplomatic breakthrough are slim. The standoff continues with no clear path to resolution. The conflict has spilled into cyberspace, with pro-government hacker groups from both countries launching attacks. Government websites have been defaced or taken offline, serving as propaganda and psychological warfare. More serious threats include disrupting electricity and internet services in the border region. The cyber conflict is fueled by other tensions. Thai authorities accuse Cambodian-based criminal networks of running online scams targeting Thais. Recent police raids and arrest warrants have added to the mistrust. These issues are now intertwined with the territorial dispute, making diplomacy even more complicated. The digital front is a new battleground, escalating the conflict beyond the physical border. Cyber attacks and criminal accusations deepen the rift and hinder resolution. This crisis is sending shockwaves through Southeast Asia and testing ASEAN, the region's main diplomatic body. ASEAN's mission is to maintain peace among its members, but a standoff between Cambodia and Thailand threatens its credibility. Calls are growing for ASEAN to mediate, but its consensus-based approach makes decisive action difficult. The world is watching. Southeast Asia's stability is vital for global trade and security. Prolonged conflict could disrupt supply chains, scare off investment, and destabilize the region. Neighboring countries worry the dispute could set a dangerous precedent for other unresolved borders. The crisis highlights the challenge of nationalism and colonial-era legacies across Southeast Asia. How Cambodia and Thailand resolve this will influence future regional disputes. This is more than a local issue, it's a test for regional cooperation and peace. The Cambodia-Thailand border crisis is a stark reminder of how the past can disrupt the present. It's not just about land, it's about national identity, failed diplomacy, and the real-world impact on ordinary people. The risk of further violence is real, and the economic and social damage is already immense. The decisions made by leaders in Bangkok and Phnom Penh have life-changing consequences for people with no say in the matter. This dispute is a crucial test for ASEAN and the future of regional stability. The world is watching to see if diplomacy can prevail over confrontation. The outcome will shape whether Southeast Asia moves toward cooperation or renewed conflict. For the sake of peace and stability, finding a path forward is more urgent than ever.